Hello beautiful soul healers, welcome to my channel. My name is Anastasia. I'm a holistic regenerative health consultant and detoxification specialist. On this channel I share with you how to detoxify and rebuild your body with juice fasting, juicing, raw foods and other lifestyle choices. Thank you so much for watching. In this video I'm gonna share with you updates on my 267th day of juice fast, and I keep going. And also I will let you know, is the long-term juice fast worth it? Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more videos just like this. If you're coming back, welcome back guys. I'm so happy to see you again. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how juice fasting, such a long term, affects me on spiritual, emotional, energetic, mental, and physical levels. Let's dive right into it. I will start with spiritual level because for me, everything starts with consciousness, with our spirit. That is choosing for us healing. That is choosing for us to walk on this path of truth, of light, of blessings. So it starts with your spirit. It starts with opening to the idea that it is okay and acceptable to feel good in our physical body. That is how it started for me. On this juice fast, I feel the connection even deeper. As I said before, if you watched my videos, I have always felt the connection. I always knew I was from the source, so as everyone else. And I carried this understanding of the sacredness of every human being until this day. And I continue carrying this understanding and knowledge. And for me, on the spiritual level, on this juice fast, the connection of my past became obvious with the connection of my present. Everything made sense. Everything clicked together. Everything became a complete puzzle. The feeling of this is truly beautiful, because when I look back, I can reflect on why I got sick this time around and what I had to discover on this long-term journey. Our body is the carrier for the energetic body, and that is what comes alive again when we juice fast. We align all our chakras, we clear all our energy centers with juicing. Because when we clear out physical things from the body, the waste matter, we allow the energy to flow freely. We allow the energy to attract things into our life. We allow ourselves to be free, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually. And that is what happens on a long-term juice fast when we are conscious about our process, when we are aware of what's going on with our soul, with our mind, with our physical body. When we come to this understanding, it becomes obvious that it starts with the spirit. It starts with our commitment to ourselves. So when we juice fast long term, we really connect with the source of ourselves, with the source that our bodies were created from. And it is very simple. Consciousness is very simple. We as human beings, concentrating and focusing on our mind, tend to put too much attention to complexity. And sometimes we don't see the simplicity behind our perception of complexity. Life is very simple. Consciousness is simple. It wants us to be happy. It wants us to be joyful. It wants us to be healthy on all the levels of our being: emotional, mental, spiritual, energetic, physical. We are in the physical world, and our body embodies all of those aspects that I just named. If you're asking yourself, is long-term juice fast worth it? Of course it does. It expands your vision. It breaks the bond with your thoughts and with your desires. It truly teaches you discipline. It teaches you the truth of how your body works, because you tune into it and you stay there with yourself and you listen to yourself. No one else is there to tell you what to do. It is your soul that wants to heal. It is your soul that wants to thrive in a healthy body, and that's understandable. For a healthy soul, it is imperative to be in a healthy vessel. What I experience on a spiritual level is very beautiful. Life is synchronized. Life is aligned. It takes time to come to this point, to this beautiful point of the journey. And it was up to me to let it become like this. The power of choice becomes obvious on a long-term juice fast. I was told that there was only one right way to do things. Yet my spirit, my heart knew that there were many. And the choices and options that I was offered didn't make sense to me. After all, I'm quite a logical being. I think and I use my mind to analyze, to compare, to research, to understand and to learn. And when it didn't make sense to me, my spirit guided me once more to the juice fast. It was necessary for me to get that uterine fibroid so I can wake up once more to some truths that I didn't see in my life, or I ignored them before, or I chose to ignore them, or I experienced something that was at that time not under my control. When I realized that all the points of the journey connect once more again, and they manifest through my body, and they show me where else I need to go. So when I came to the understanding that my spirit wanted to heal fully as well, my spirit needed to let go of many things. But before letting go, I needed to find those things and sit with them, and sit with my shadow, and sit with my light, and love myself in any expression of it. That is what long-term juice fasting gave me on a spiritual level. It also gave me the power to control the mental level of my life in a different way. On my first long-term juice fast, that was 115 days. It was not my first juice fast, but first long-term juice fast. I experienced very similar things. My mind cleared out fast of toxic thoughts, of patterns, of different things that didn't serve me anymore. On this juice fast, I had to discover more of the toxic thoughts and patterns that still were there, and that brought me to the level of vibration where I myself created a disease. In my body, it manifested through uterus, because that's where I needed to do the most work. Remember, there are only two sides of chemistry, acid and alkaline, and there is too much of an acidic side of our life, society, food, thoughts, mass media. Choices are endless. There is so much to choose. And when we go with the acidic side, with the toxic side, that's when the mental patterns are being created. And that's when sometimes we get stuck in those loops. That is why juice fasting helps us to break the bond with our thoughts and ultimately with our desires. Desire for food that is denatured is in our mind. And yes, it is chemically tied up in our body because those foods that most of people consume are toxic and they create an addiction, a chemical addiction in our bodies. And unless we detoxify and cleanse it and rebuild and let our organs and glands regenerate and work properly and bring our body, mind and spirit back to homeostasis, to the balanced state of nature, we won't be able to heal until we give up something that harms us. It can be anything. Long-term juice fasting helps us to come out of our mind and be in the present moment. It helps us to stay grounded because we do not have distractions anymore. When we take care for our physical waste and let it out of our body for good, our mind gets cleared as well. When we understand the toxicity of certain things during our juice fast, when we start waking up to the fact that actually most of the things, including our thoughts, are toxic and it's better to let them go, that is when our power comes in. I'll give you an example of comparison with my 115 days juice fast and the juice fast I'm on right now, day 267. When I was on my first long-term juice fast, I cleared my mind enormously. I truly got rid of a lot of toxic patterns and a lot of toxic thoughts and a lot of toxic beliefs that led me to the life I had at that point in life. And I thought my life was good enough and I was happy with my life in many senses, yet on my juice fast I realized that my marriage was toxic and I had to go. So we also get sick when our environment is not supportive of who we are, when our environment is promoting something different than our self-growth and self-worth and health. When I was doing my first long-term juice fast, I was in a different environment. It was very hard for me. There wasn't much support in my immediate family in what I was doing, except for my child, who was very young at that time. And at that time as well, it felt to me that I was losing friends because of what I was doing. On this juice fast, I realized that I just was cleansing and clearing out the energy that didn't serve me. At that time, my mind thought it was me. In this time around, I changed things. I worked a lot on my mental settings, on my mental patterns, and I found the control buttons and I found how to guide it in a different direction. The tool I use for this is yoga. I practice yoga almost daily for the last 2.5 years, and I practiced yoga before, not on a regular basis. On my long-term juice fast 115 days, I didn't practice anything. I didn't really move my body. So therefore, I only moved my thoughts with those techniques that I knew at that moment, classic therapy. Since that time, I have already discovered different tools and techniques for processing and for mind wellness, and health. And so I used them on this juice fast, and especially yoga, to be still, to be present, to know that everything is fine, that I am alive, that I am thriving. To know your mind, to understand your mind, to understand how it works, to know how to take a pause before reacting, how to breathe, how to utilize all of that in your well-being. That's what gets opened up on a juice fast when you attend to this, when you pay attention to those things. And we need to, because we are the whole being, and it's inevitably will happen that everything toxic will go away from our life, whether we want it or not, because it truly is no longer serves us. On this juice fast, though, I felt the difference with me being empowered in choosing who, what, and when and how should go. I felt that being in my power to choose the health treatment for myself, that's what empowered me to also choose what other toxic things should go out of my life. And I chose to let go of certain relationships, mostly of work contract relationships, of people whom I knew somehow through my work. And it felt liberating, it felt necessary. And when I let those things go, many other things aligned for me and came into my life. And I hear that a lot of my clients who do juice fasts, they experience the same things. Now let's move on to the experience with the physical body. Let's start with numbers. I weighed 136 pounds on August 26th when I started this juice fast. I went down to 116 pounds, which most of it was the waste from my colon. I knew this already because I experienced it before. Last time I experienced the same thing. I went from 136 pounds to 116, and I kept the level of 122 pounds of weight when I got back to eating raw food. When I started experimenting with cooked vegan food, that's when my weight started going up, simply because I stopped eliminating properly. As I mentioned before, cooked foods of any kind do not digest in the same way in our physical body. We are designed as frugivores. It is clearly our physiology, biology, and when we go to the chemical side of things, acid and alkaline, we are designed to be alkaline, on the alkaline side, with the acid function of our stomach. When we process foods that, when they break down, create acid ash, and you can think of anything except fresh, organic, raw fruits and vegetables, that's when we create acidic problems in our body, corrosive problems, and that's when all the waste matter starts to block our lymphatic system, and we get the symptoms that our body is exhibiting while asking us for help. It's very simple. When we cut ourselves, our body heals itself. It shows us that in nature, self-healing is the thing. It brings us back to the state of homeostasis that I mentioned before, to the state of balance, of grounding, of life. When I started consuming vegan, denatured cooked foods, that was the physical problem that contributed to creating the uterine fibroid in my body. When I realized that, I knew how to reverse it. So I went back to the juice fasting. And today I'm happy to report to you guys that the size of uterine fibroid reduced twice. For the comparison, I will show you something right now. That is the size it was, the size of this mango. It was 8 centimeters long, and now it is this size. So it is the size of this lemon. I received a call from a medical doctor telling me that the surgery is no longer needed. Now imagine, almost 9 months ago, at the end of August, I was told that the only option for me in dealing with the tumor, with the uterine tumor, was to go through hysterectomy or myomectomy. In both cases, my organ would have been damaged. In first case, it would have been taken out completely, and in the second case, they would not be able to save the whole organ, as they said. Now I'm standing here in front of you 9 months later, and the surgery is no longer needed. My body is self-healing organism, and so is yours. I'm suggesting it not as a medical advice. You should not take this video as a medical advice. I suggest it because the experience and nature shows us that it is the truth. On the other levels of my physical being is I feel amazing. All my muscles are strong. I not only practice yoga almost every day, I practice different styles of yoga. I do hot yoga, I do flow yoga, I do yin yoga. I also do fit class, which pumps up my blood and lets my heart work. I enjoy my life. It has been so much synchronized. There is peace in my house. There is peace outside. There is peace in what I do, and there is peace in what I bring out. I have learned many things on this juice fast. I have learned that people rush a lot, that we run around, and the perception of my time has changed. I realized that it's up to me to not only say no to the treatments of my body that I do not agree with. It is also fine to say no to anything that takes away my precious time, that steals my time from the work that is important for me, from the work that I love doing. In doing so, I get my power back, so I can empower you in return and tell you, my dear friends, beautiful self-healers, that you can do the same. I am definitely coming back to you with more videos. Some of them I recorded prior than I am recording this video now. I'm still about to post them because I think there is a valuable information right there. More things are coming your way. I'm working on different programs and group coaching, so stay tuned for those. I'm participating in several interviews and podcasts following month, and I will keep you updated on those as well. Follow me on social media, on Instagram at lumiro. Check out my website at luminousraw.com. Stay connected with me, post your comments, say hi, share your love, spread your messages, share your self-healing story. I would like to learn more about you guys and what you breathe with and what you bring into this world. Tune into my podcast on Spotify or Apple at Luminous Raw. Subscribe to this channel to support the work I do. Thank you so much for watching. It is an honor and pleasure to guide you on your healing journey. May we all walk in beauty. May we all be well. May we all walk in peace. I'll see you in the next video.